thing actually went off more or less without a hitch. So that shows that there's a productive relationship with orange, and also quite a productive relationship with red, because I gave him his gift back as I no longer needed it. And my smuggler has made his way back just in enough time to cut off pink, and in an amazing development, pink then gifts that attack sub because it's not going to win, and I now have a ridiculous windfall of drillers over there. I've reopened discussions with purple. Purple's mainly interested in getting rid of pink, so we bury that hatchet and in fact coordinate with teal, who pink had foolishly attacked and is now busily counterattacking. I do an amazing deal with teal to give him most of my windfall in exchange for a general lieutenant swap. So teal now gets 2 generals, or a lieutenant and general for a while. He gets the benefit of his old one until it reaches me, and this is all because he has a hypnotist and is trying to take out pink and nick all of pink's specialists. So my position was, well, if you're going to win all those specialists, I'd like a down payment in the form of a general. Teal basically lost 1 hire because he had to give up a general for a lieutenant, but he stands to gain a lot in terms of captured specialists. So pink is being hunted down by everybody. Pink gets a king to try and break down this anti-double agent attack pattern of teal's. Teal then gets a king. Pink runs away, and a chasing force is sent to try and capture that. Except that the king and queen of pink is also on a lieutenant, so is not going to be caught by that chasing force. In the meantime, purple and I realise that pink's done for. Who else can we attack? Well, beige, who has conveniently been fighting olive the whole time and is relatively weak on this border. So we both do a coordinated attack, and I use this general and lots of dinky offensive specialists to take 2 bases with the loss of practically no men. I'll then send my pirate off to red, because red had a chance of trying to intercept that fleeing queen king sub of pinks. Then turns out that he can't reach it, and he will eventually give that pirate back, which is a ridiculously honourable move, particularly in an Anon game. This odd-looking pattern here is me trying to bounce a navigator off Shaneville, but now that I see that beige is in fact going to intercept that queen of pinks, then I say, well, you are doing the right thing. I'm going to back off, and around this time there's a general dominate the world agreement going between myself and purple and olive. So olive is trying to deal with orange, so I set my main attack force down towards orange. Someone tips off orange, who I presume is beige, and orange is now sending some to Isaacson, so I go and defend that. Meanwhile, beige has recaptured one of the bases that I captured off him fair and square. I mean, how rude. And also is trying to chase down my queen, so I'll have to counterattack that, and then counterattack some more, and then some more again. And at this point, beige's queen is looking quite stable, and mine is capturable but not particularly defensible, so that you don't want to capture mines that you can't keep. So I basically do a deal with beige that's just outside of purple's radar, that I'll transact a pirate to him just outside that purple can't see, and I'll also fund him, and there are any number of people that could fund beige. So purple has been constantly asking, who is funding beige? Who is funding beige? It turned out in the final analysis that it was both me and Olive who were purple's erstwhile allies, but we really quite liked the idea of beige fighting purple because purple had quite a lot of military offensive specialists. So by this stage, you'll see that red has 3 mines and is trying to turtle like crazy. I have 3 mines because I figured that there's so many kings around the board, having actual drillers is kind of pointless. So all of my drillers I just turned into mines as fast as possible and relied on the sort of threat of defensive specialists to keep people off my lawn. Now it becomes time for the last few days. Is it worth trying to steal a mine off red? So off I go and take one of red's factories next to his mine. Red suddenly points out, oi, everybody on the board is attacking me. It was like, well, that's what happens when you're the ladder leader who've been mining for so long. Sorry. Yellow sends a very ill-advised sentry-proof attack on Varuna because that's going to get smashed by a war hero, and yellow gifts all of those to red. This is a bit odd. I try and set up a detonation martyr thing to take out this other mine, but red persuades me that would just be mean, so by gifting the target sub, it means that the martyr doesn't actually trigger, so red survives that one. And seeing as I was more or less selling out purple anyway, I used the grand total of 1 driller, 1 assassin, and 2 generals to secure 3 bases off him, because he's now reached close to his production capacity and is having trouble making more. And with 2 generals, each specialist is worth a small army of troops. So this is basically where we are now. I have somehow managed to stay friendly with enough people or project the threat of smuggler defense to make it not worth anybody's while to significantly attack me, and I've ended up coming second. I mean, Olive has absolutely smashed it. He received some excellent windfalls from tactical successes, but because he was on the complete other side of the map from me, I never really had to fight him. So he's stormed up to number 1, and I've overtaken red for second. And that was my first Anon game.